Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online. As you all know that Indian government has released the budget on 1st February on Sunday, right? So in this video, we are going to have a detailed discussion on the budget, okay? So we have combined all the documents released by the government related to the budget. So it is going to be a lengthy video, okay? Be patient. Generally what happens is students have a tendency to watch a very short video, but you're going to miss a lot of important facts, right? You might have seen a lot of videos in the YouTube. I'm not saying it as a negative or positive in that case, right? I'm just telling you that most of the videos don't cover all the videos, right? So even though it is going to be a lengthy, we are going to discuss each and every detail which is relevant for our exam. So if you watch this video and make your own notes, you no need to refer to any other videos. We promise that most of the questions, not most of the questions, all the questions that if any exam touches the budget will be part of this video. So the strategy should be understand the details properly, understand the concepts, revise your basic components of the budget from economy subject, then you can watch the video and note down all the facts by understanding the concepts properly, right? So you should have your own notes rather than referring to the ready-made notes, right? So it will give you a clear understanding and what to prepare, how to revise and all if you have your own notes, right? So try to watch the video clearly, and in case of any doubt, you can comment your doubts in the comment section. So I'll be replying for your queries as well, right? So let's start with the budget complete analysis for any of the exams that you are going to write in the next 1 year, right? Firstly, what is the budget? Budget is the estimation of the expenditure and the revenue that government gets in 1 year, right? So for example, if you're going for any coaching in any city, first you plan your expenditure, then you see your revenue. If the revenue is not sufficient to meet your expenditure, then you go for the debt or borrowings. Similarly, government also plan its expenditure initially, then it will check its revenue, right? Then if it is not sufficient, the revenue is not sufficient to meet the expenditure, then government will go for the borrowings. You might have seen or listened these things in the static economy budget chapter, right? So that is about the budget. It is the estimation of expenditure comparing with the revenue and planning for the borrowings if it is not sufficient. That is the budget, right? Now, whatever the government presents its details in the budget, they present these details in a 3 years. For example, this budget is of 2026-27. For this year, it is going to present the estimates, expectations, because it is a future. So government does not know what happens, right? So government presents the budget estimates for upcoming year. So 2026-27 is the upcoming year. Budget is presented on February 1, 2026. So 2026-27 financial year, April 1 to March 31. So this is going to be the upcoming year. So they present budget estimates. Budget estimate. Okay. For 2026-27. Similarly, we have the current year, that is 2025-26. Why did we call it as a current year? Because the budget is presented on February 1, 2026, which is part of the current year. So here we will present revised numbers, right? Revised numbers of current year, because still not yet completed. Still we have February, March, 2 more months. So this is only revised figures of the current year for 10 months. So 2025-26 we have a revised numbers. Government presents this as well as this. Also, government presents the final numbers for 2024-25 which has been completed. So they present the final numbers. Final numbers for the previous year. So this is a previous financial year. So all these 3 numbers government presents, right, along with the budget document. So especially the final numbers on the budget estimates of these 2 years are more important. Does not mean that they are going to not ask these revised numbers. Many of the exams they are asking this also, but mostly this important, and secondly this is also important, right? So these things we will discuss in the last 40 minutes. See, this video, it is going to be more important of the last 40 minutes or 30 or 40 minutes because most of the numbers will come at the end, right? First, we will start with the budget estimate. What are the schemes, propositions for the 2026-27? Then we will see all the numbers related to these three figures, right? So let's start with the budget 2026-27. So let me give you brief what we are going to discuss in the coming whole video. First, we are going to discuss about the budget planning that government has done for 2026-27, right? All the propositions, schemes, everything they have presented in form of 6 pillars. So the total budget propositions happened in 6 pillars, out of which 6th pillar I was telling about these numbers. So 6th pillar is about the fiscal numbers, which is more important. Okay, but we will also discuss pillar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And one Viksit Bharat by 2047. That means government want to achieve the developed India. They want to see developed India by 2047. This is a government aim. As part of this objective, government was presenting the last few budgets since 2022, that is completion of our 50 years of independence, right? Since then, we were presenting the Viksit Bharat budgets, right? So this year also we are presenting the budget with the aim to achieve Viksit Bharat, that is developed India, but with balancing ambitions with inclusion. So we are not only achieving balanced India, developed India, but it is balanced with ambitions and inclusion. That means all the communities are going to part of this development, right? Also, government presented 3 elements why they are presenting the budget. Action over ambivalence. That means we will show you the action, not the words. Okay. So not we are showing the words, but we are showing the actions. Then reform over rhetoric. That means we are not in a dilemma. What to do, where to do. We are not going to tell you a lot of words. We are going to show the reforms that we are going to do. Okay. Then people over populism. That means we are not aiming to get the popularity. Rather, we want to give importance to the public welfare. So our measure is going to be the importance of people, not to get the votes for us, right? So these are the 3 elements government has presented in the budget. Now, what is the aim of budget 2026-27, right? So the aim is to transform aspiration into achievement. Whatever the aspiration we have, wishes we have, we are going to transform into achievement. Also, whatever the potential we have, India has a very huge potential in form of demographic dividend, that is young population, resources. We are going to show you the performance. Our potential is going to convert into performance, right? Then, whatever the growth that we are going to achieve, it will be stable. It will be based on our discipline. We are not going to spend too much of revenue expenditure. We are going to show you the capital expenditure, spending of capital expenditure. That means we will be in discipline. Then we are going to aim at sustainable growth rather than achieving in a fluctuation based. We are going to show you the consecutive growth rates and then controlled inflation, moderate inflation, which will not hamper the consumers. So all these are we are going to aim at. Okay. So that is the objectives of one of the objectives of this, what government is presenting the budget. Now, government has said that they are going to achieve the high growth rate, that is above 7% every year, through energy security, critical resources, structural reform, physical discipline, monetary stability, that is inflation, public investment, that is expenditure, then citizens benefit from government action, domestic manufacturing capacity. All through this, we are going to achieve the 7% growth rate every year. So this is the object, right? Now, government has given one very important acknowledgement for the budget. That is, the budget is going to be based on Yuva Shakti driven. That means we are aiming to drive this budget through the youth force, right? And government has said that we have three duties to fulfill, right? We have three duties, that is Kartavya. First Kartavya is to accelerate and promote the economic growth. That means to increase the economic growth. That is our first duty. Our second duty is to fulfill aspiration of our people. Whatever the wishes they have, we need to fulfill it. That is our second duty. And our third duty is to achieve the Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. That means with everyone we need development. So everyone should be included in the development process. These are the three duties which we are presenting the budget. Okay. And these are all the already taken measures. So it's very generic. We have taken 350 reforms. We have appointed different committees. So very generic in nature. No need to worry too much. So this also they have presented. Right. As I was telling you, the whole budget they have presented in 6 pillars. Pillar 1, sustaining economic growth. Pillar 2, strengthening the foundation of the growth. Pillar 3, people-centric development. Pillar 4, trust-based governance. Pillar 5, ease of doing business and also ease of living. Then sixth pillar is physical matters. So out of this, first pillar, second pillar are important. Sixth pillar is very, very important. And then third is also important. These two are not very important, but yeah, we will briefly discuss, just have an idea, right? So our whole budget discussion in the next coming 1 hour will be part of this 6 pillars. So you should be patient and then cover everything, whatever we are discussing here. Okay. First, let's take up the pillar, that is sustainable economic growth. So this is the first pillar which government has presented the budget. Within this pillar, that is sustaining economic growth, we have 3 sub-pillars. Manufacturing, that is to promote frontier sectors in manufacturing, then service sector, then farmers' income by increasing the productivity. These are the 3 sub-pillars within the pillar 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So let's take one by one now. First, let's take up the manufacturing sector. So government is going to implement lot of schemes, right? So these are propositions. Some schemes were already there, so it is going to be extended. Some other schemes government is going to come up with the new. So these are all the proposals. These will be implemented once the cabinet is approved. Maybe after April 1, they will keep approving one by one. Okay. But anyway, we will discuss one by one. First, we'll go with the clockwise. Indian Semiconductor Mission 2.0. Semiconductors are the important inputs in the digital technologies like laptops, tabs, mobiles and various other aspects. And India is dependent on many other countries like China, South Korea, Japan, right? And this been hampered during COVID when China stopped exports of the semiconductors. So that's why India has already come up with the semiconductor phase 1.0. Now it is going to come up with the semiconductor mission 2.0, through which they want to promote the equipment and material production within India related semiconductors and full stack Indian intellectual property rights. So that means we are going to develop semiconductors of Indian origin, right? And then supply chain resilience. So no aspect of crisis like COVID should hamper us. So the input should be continuous flow for our Indian production. And then India is also going to promote research and training centers for Indian Semiconductor Mission. So this is the Indian Semiconductor Mission 2.0. Then second scheme is about Biopharma Shakti. So you can see here the full form. Firstly, what is biopharma? Bio means living, pharma means medicines. It can be vaccines, anything. So India want to promote the biopharma sector within itself. And Shakti means strategy for healthcare advancement through knowledge, technology and innovation. So what we are going to do this? We are going to build an ecosystem of domestic production related to all biological and biosimilars like vaccines, medicines, pharmaceuticals, everything related to health we are going to produce within India. and for that purpose government has allocated 10,000 crores for the next 5 years. So this is the proposition for this particular scheme. Okay. Also, we are going to promote or establish biopharma focus networks with 3 National Institute of Pharmaceuticals Education and Research. So government is going to launch 3 new National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. Also, the existing 7 ones, already existing institutions of pharmaceutical education and research, government is going to develop with this funding. Along with that, we are going to strengthen 1,000 Indian clinical centers, whatever Indian clinical trials. So whatever we are going to implement with the public, first we need to do research in the lab. So those clinical centers will be upgraded, 1,000 clinical centers will be upgraded. So through this funding, they are going to do all these activities. That is the Biopharma Shakti initiative. Then we have high-tech tools rooms in central public sector enterprises. So you might be aware, lot of our central public sector enterprises are still in losses. Government is losing lot of money because they are lagging in technology. So government has come up with the high tool technology rooms for CPSCs. So what they are going to do, they are going to create 2 high-tech tool rooms where all the artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these technologies are included in the CPSC's working nature, right? So this is one more initiative. Then we have scheme for container manufacturing. So you might be aware that lot of containers are required to export. In ships, we require lot of container boxes. India is increasing its exports, but still lot of containers are being imported. We are losing lot of foreign exchange. For that purpose, government has come up with a new scheme, that is scheme for container manufacturing within India. For that purpose, government has allocated 10,000 crores in the next 5 years. So what government is going to do? Government is going to promote the container manufacturing within India with the 10,000 crores in the next 5 years. So all the containers that is required for India and also for other countries, we are going to produce. So that is a new scheme, right? Also, government has come up with the integrated program for textiles. Textiles is one of the largest contributor for employment from India, right? After food processing and agriculture. Agriculture is an informal sector anyway. So we have come up with the integrated program for textiles. Government has come up with this. What government is going to do? Government is going to launch National Fiber Scheme. It is self-prevalence for fiber spectrum. So whatever fibers that is required is going to be produced within India through National Fiber Scheme. Then we have launched Textile Expansion and Employment Scheme to promote employment in the textile sector within integrated program. So this is going to be integrate all the textile programs. Firstly, National Fiber Scheme, then Textile Expansion and Employment Scheme, then National Handloom Handicraft Program to promote the heritage cultural textiles. Then we have Tex Eco initiative, that means textile sector emits lot of unhealthy elements to the environment like dyes and all. So government is going to promote the green textiles, environmental friendly textiles through this scheme. Also Samarth 2.0, they are going to modernize all the textile sector. Lot of textile artisans still depend on the ancient technology. So government has come up with the Samarth 2.0 to promote the modern skills among the textile sector. So that is the integrated textile program. Next, electronic components manufacturing scheme. So there is a lot of electronic components like plugs, whatever the transistors, all these things. Now government has already launched electronic components manufacturing scheme in 2025 with outlay of 7,22,919 crore. Already we launched this. Now it is going to extend 40,000 more crores so that we develop more electronic components within India. So we can have exports, we can also reduce our dependency on the imports. So that is one more scheme launched, electronic components manufacturing scheme. Then strengthening domestic manufacturing of high value and technological advanced construction and infrastructure equipment. You might be aware, construction, real estate sector is growing a lot. So for that, we need lot of inputs like cranes, lifting mechanisms. So equipment, small and tunnel borings, lot of construction equipment we require. Still we are depending on many other countries for this equipment. So government has come up with the construction and infrastructure equipment CIE scheme, which they are going to promote the indigenous development of construction equipment. Alright. Also, apart from that, one more scheme, they are going to revive the 200 legacy industrial clusters. Industrial clusters are those where all the inputs, all the mechanisms of particular industry is located at a single place. So government is going to choose 200 industrial clusters, legacy ones which were old but have potential for the future. They are going to revamp them. Then dedicated initiative for affordable sports. So you might be aware that China is a very much, China is very much dependent on sports for their GDP. Sports are contributing a lot for China's GDP. But for India's GDP still, sports are very less contributors. So students are very much involved in the education, theoretical education. But sports are practically have a lot of contribution for GDP. For that purpose, government has come up with the affordable sports goods manufacturing. It is going to promote the manufacturing of lot of goods from India itself. So it can contribute for GDP. Also, government has come up with the 3 dedicated chemical parks. 3 dedicated chemical parks, right? So to enhance the production within India. So 3 dedicated chemical parks are going to be established in India. Then we have also government has established 3 dedicated chemical parks. Going to establish 3 dedicated chemical parks with the aim of enhancing the domestic production. So all the chemical related elements, whatever required for the economy, we are going to produce right here itself. So 3 dedicated chemical parks were announced by the government, right? Next and lastly, scheme for rare earth permanent magnets research, mining, process and manufacturing, government is going to establish. Okay. So if you see the dedicated parks, let's come to this. Government has proposed support for the mineral rich states. So government has selected certain states which are mineral rich. Those are Odisha, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So in these 4 states, government is going to establish a dedicated rare earth corridors. Government is going to establish the dedicated rare earth corridors. Why? Because India has depended on many countries like China, Japan related to the dedicated rare earth material like lithium, molybdenum. So there are 30 rare earth minerals that were recognized by the government, and most of them we have depended on the other countries. So for that purpose, government is going to create a dedicated rare earth corridors in these 4 states and promote the production of rare earth minerals, right? So these are all the manufacturing related schemes that government has proposed. So we have discussed all the schemes which government is going to implement in the next 1 year, right, for manufacturing sector. Similarly, we will see about the tax reforms in the manufacturing sector. So we are discussing the pillar 1.1, which is a manufacturing sector. Government also has brought some tax reforms. Not only they have put forwarded the schemes, but they have also brought some tax reforms. Firstly, they are going to exempt the income tax for 5 years for those who are non-residents, who are in other country and they are sending goods to India. Generally, if we are receiving imports, then there will be a custom duties tax, so that we can generate some revenue for the government. But government now is going to exempt those who are supporting the capital goods, right? Specifically in toll manufacturing. Toll manufacturing means third party manufacturing. That means they are, let's say there is a company A and they need to procure all the raw materials, labor, everything from out sources, and then they need to directly produce the goods. But in toll manufacturing, this party A, which is industry A, which is producing goods, they rather than directly procuring all this, they do this through third party. So it will reduce the burden, low cost, faster production, expertise. That means these third parties are expertise in this particular field like labor or raw material and all. So if these people who are sending goods to India which is import for India, for those people we are going to exclude the duties. We are not going to collect the income tax, right? Also, safe harbor. Safe harbor means those companies which are coming from other country and doing business in India, if they pay certain minimum amount of tax, certain percentage of tax, they will be, they will not be harassed with all the legal elements and all rules, regulations. So minimum amount of tax that non-residents who are paying to the government of India will not be penalized. So they will be allowed to do business as usual, right? So this also we are going to introduce for warehousing and bonded warehouse. Bonded warehouse are those which import goods and custom duties will not be collected immediately. Rather, once they sell these goods, then only we will collect the duties from these warehousings. Those are called as a bonded warehouse. So now these bonded warehouse are going to be linked with the safe harbor. That means if they pay certain amount of taxes, so no tax official will go and ask them, so they will not be subjected to a lot of legal complexity. So they are going to do the business easily. So that also was, introduced. Then duty payment window for trusted manufacturer. Those manufacturers who are doing business in India for long, they are going to get the duty payment deferred for long. So immediately they won't ask to pay the duties. So let's see, once you get into the profit, then only we will collect the taxes. So that also has been given to the trusted manufacturers, right? And then for fishery sector, right, whoever are involved in the seafood production, for them we are going to give the duty-free imports for 3%. Earlier it was 1%. Out of the total imports, only 1% were exempted because there may be raw material and all. But now 3% of the total imports will be duty-free for the fishery sector, right? Also, shoe uppers, that means upper part of shoe. You might be aware the upper part of shoe. Whoever are importing of those leather and all will be duty-free. Earlier, it was only for leather and synthetic footwear. But now, whatever may be the upper part, you will be duty-free. You don't need to pay any imports. So, through this, government is encouraging the exports of the shoes because the cost of imports of the upper part of the shoe was reduced now. So, it can be more easy in terms of exports of the finished shoes, right? Then, export of final products related to the textiles, leather and synthetic footwear was extended from 6 months to 1 year. Earlier, whatever you produce, you need to export within 6 months. Else, you won't get any tax benefits. But now, you can export it up to 1 year. So, government has extended it. So, this is also benefit for the exporters. So, all these were tax exempted, right? So, we have discussed all this bonded warehouse, toll manufacturing and all. One more exemption was given for microwave ovens. Whatever the microwave ovens are there, those will be exempted from basic customs duty, BCD. This we majorly importing from USA and Western countries. So microwave ovens will going to get cheaper, right? So this is also one more tax exemption given in the manufacturing sector. Similarly, aircraft manufacturing and then aircraft parts which are used in repairs, BCD was exempted. Basic custom duties was exempted for aircraft manufacturing and also aircraft parts manufacturing. Similarly, regular importers who are long standing, for them government is going to recognize as a risk system. That means they are, whatever risk they face, government will be exempted from certain taxes. So that is also introduced. Similarly, export cargo, which are, we are exporting lot of cargos, containers. So those will be given with the electronic system. So tax officials are those who are collecting taxes at the borders are not going to be involved in this export. So it will be more easily, electronic code will be given. So easy clearances are being given for the exports, right? Similarly, one-time measure for facilitate sale domestic tariff area for CEZ. See, what are CEZ? Special economic zones are those which are created in specific area and considered as a not part of Indian territory. So they will be, even though they are located within India, their rules are like other countries. So that means whatever exports they do, imports they do, those are not subjected to any taxes, only in specific areas. But now it is going to be given with the domestic tariff area as well. That means even if they are working in outside of those areas, we are going to give the tax exemption. So that is also the given in the manufacturing sector. Now coming to the MSMEs, all this we are discussing in the manufacturing sector itself, pillar 1.1, right? So for MSMEs specifically, which are in the manufacturing sector, government is going to give the equity support. Equity support means when MSME is launching a business, government will create a separate body and support equity. That means government itself will take some shares, ownership of MSMEs through a body, and government is going to support them. Because MSMEs, generally most of the micro units, they start business but they wind up because they don't have that equity support and all. So government itself is going to buy some part of ownership through SME growth fund, right? So 10,000 crores they are going to create for equity support, ownership support for MSMEs. Similarly, government has added top up for self-reliant fund. Self-reliant fund was already launched for MSMEs. Around 50,000 crores were allocated. Why? For empowering MSMEs for growth, faster growth. Now we are going to top up with 2,000 more crores for this MSMEs, right? Similarly, professional support. Many of MSMEs are contributing for exports, but they don't know rules and regulations in other countries. What kind of quality we need to maintain, what kind of support for the product we need to maintain. All these were not sure for the MSMEs. So for that purpose, government is going to create corporate mitras, especially to support the MSMEs in tier 2 and tier 3 towns. So these corporate mitras will reach out to MSMEs and they give guidance, what kind of quality you need to maintain, what kind of support you need to maintain after the production of good. So corporate mitras are going to help the MSMEs. Similarly, liquidity support through TREDS platform. See, TREDS is a platform of RBI. Let's say an MSME, a company MSME has sold a goods to A, and rather than taking money directly, they will take a note, promissory note worth of that money. Let's say this 100 crore needs to be given to this MSME. So they will have a paper, and this paper can be put it in the TREDS platform of RBI, and they can take the monetary support, loan support from banks, because they already have the value. Rather than directly taking money, they are taking a paper, and this paper is being used to trade the money in the TREDS platform, right? TRED means Trade Receivable Discount System platform, where MSMEs can convert their money into a paper, and that can be used to mobilize the loans. So government is going to support the liquidity to this platform as well. Similarly, MSMEs which are exporting more than value of 10 lakhs, earlier used to tax. So up to 10 lakh exports, government is generally not taking any taxes. But now government has exempted even the tax for above the worth of 10 lakh. Okay. So even if the exports worth more than 10 crore, still government is going to exempt the tax. So through this, government is encouraging MSMEs to export more. So this is the objective. Earlier 10 lakh restricted tax exemption was also removed. Even if it is more than 10 lakh worth, you are going to get the tax exemption. This is all government has done for the MSMEs, right? Now coming to the pillar 1.2, that is related to the service. So let's see for service sector what government has proposed. Service sector, government is going to create a committee related to high-powered education to employment and enterprise. Most of our education, whatever we are doing education, it is not resulting in the what? Employment, right? So most of our knowledge is theoretical one. So that's why government is going to constitute a high-powered committee, how this education can be converted into employment and enterprise. Right? We don't know which committee it is. It is going to come up in the future. Next, government is going to upgrade and establish new institutions. related to allied health professionals. Allied health means Ayurveda, Unani, Yoga, these are all related to health. So government is going to upgrade and establish new institutions related to other fields of health. Rather than direct doctors, they are going to support the other doctors who are working in relevant sectors. Also, care ecosystem. You might be aware that Indian population is getting older. That means the average age of population is getting higher. Elderly population is increasing. For them, we need support. But most of the people involved, like husband, wife, both are in the jobs. So they were not able to take care of the elderly people. So for that purpose, government is going to promote or create the 1.5 lakh multi-skilled caregivers. They are going to create employment in the caregiving sector with 1.5 multi-skilled. So that can also increase the support for elderly. Not only that, but it can increase the GDP contribution of the country. So new kind of employment government is going to encourage, that is caregivers, through National Skill Qualified Framework. NSQF is a framework, those that this person has got these skills. So it is a certification. So they are going to support this also. Similarly, government is going to support states in establishing 5 hubs related to medical value tourism. Like Kerala has a very good medical tourism for Ayurveda and all. So for states, government is going to support to create 5 hubs related to medical value tourism as well, right? Then we have Ayurveda. 3 new All India Institution of Ayurveda will be created. Similarly, upgrading Ayurveda pharmacies and drug testing labs will be done on the lines of World Health Organization. That is also a new proposal. Then we have Orange Economy. Orange Economy means creative economy, specifically in AVGC sector. That is animation, then visualization, then gaming, and C means creative, right? So AVGC sector. So government is going to set up a AVGC content create labs in 15,000 secondary schools and 500 colleges. So creative economy like augmented reality, virtual reality, we are going to encourage in animation, then visual sector, then gaming and comics. C means comics. Okay. So in these sectors, government is going to create a labs in 15,000 secondary schools and 500 colleges. Similarly, design related. Government is going to set up a new National Institute of Design through challenge route in Eastern region. So this may be asked in the exam. In Eastern region, government is going to create a new National Institute of Design. One more proposal. Then sports related, already we have discussed, government want to promote the manufacturing of various sports goods within India to encourage the manufacturing of sports goods. So government is going to do that. Also, government is going to launch the Khelo India mission. Khelo India mission. Why? To integrate the talent related to the sports, right? All the sports related technology goods will be produced through Khelo India mission. This is also will increase our GDP, right? In education, government is going to create 5 university townships, especially near industrial regions. So whatever the industrial regions are there, their government is going to come up with the 5 university townships. So through this, what government is going to do? Government want to encourage the industry-led education. So whatever education students are there, college students, they will be interacted with the industries, and what kind of skills required for those industries will be developed in those colleges. So for that, 5 university townships are going to be created. Then girls hostels are going to be established in every districts for higher education STEM technology, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So most of the girls are involved in the arts and non-engineering background. So government is trying to encourage the women participation, girl participation in the STEM technology. For them to promote their safety, government is going to create a hostels in every district, right? Similarly, all the telescope infrastructure, whatever exists in India related to astronomy, is going to be revamped and they are going to be upgraded. So astronomy also going to be encouraged, space related activity. National Institute of Hospitality is going to be set up to promote the tourism activities. Better way of serving the tourist. So that is called as the hospitality. That also going to be come up with in the future. Then pilot scheme for upskilling, 10,000 guides. See, most of the guides have very less knowledge about the tourism of particular sectors, right? So government is going to upskill them with the 10,000 guides in 20 iconic tourist sites like Taj Mahal and all. So better guides, better tourism, more GDP, right? The national destination of digital knowledge grid is going to be created to digitally document all places of the significance. So whatever the important places are there in India, we are going to digitalize them through national destination digital knowledge. So people will know which areas are important for tourism, which are for recreation. So more GDP will be created. Then government is also going to create mountain trails, turtle trails, bird watching trails in selective states like Andhra Pradesh, right? So to encourage trekking and sightseeing. So that will also increase the GDP of respective states. Also India in the 2026 is going to conduct first ever global cat summit, global big cat summit. So tiger, lion, all these are called as a big cats, right? So government is going to host this in India in the coming year, right, this year. Also government is going to develop 50 archaeological sites. 15 archaeological sites means those which are of historical significance but also can promote the tourism currently. So government is going to develop 15 archaeological sites as a vibrant and most important destinations. Similarly, government is going to develop the Buddhist circuits in northeast region to promote the tourism. So all these are part of the tourist activities. Similarly, in financial sector, government is going to establish a high level committee for the next level, next generation banking reforms. So whatever the banking sector is there, so government is going to revamp this with the high level committee. We don't know, maybe in the next coming days or coming months, we will know which committee is this, what purpose, right, in a detailed manner. Also, government is going to encourage the municipal bond market. So Hyderabad municipality, Vizag municipality, these municipalities need to release the bonds, they need to mobilize fund, then invest and then collect more taxes. So to encourage that, if a municipality releases or collect the money through more than 1,000 crore fund, government is going to give the 100 crore single issuance. Government is going to give incentive. If a Hyderabad municipality raises more than 1,000 crore, 100 crore extra will be given by the central government. So municipal bond market is being encouraged. Similarly, power financing corporation and rural electrical corporations which need more electricity generation and promotion, government is going to revamp them as well. And FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, which enables the exchange of rupees with the dollars and other foreign currency. It is going to be more easy now. Earlier it is very difficult. They need to take permission, especially on the capital account. It is going to be revamped. Then total return swaps on corporate bonds are going to be encouraged. Corporate bonds are the bonds released by corporate companies, private companies. Most of the people are not interested. Either they want to invest in treasury bills released by government or certificate of deposits released by the banks. But government, people have very less trust in the corporate bonds. So to encourage that, government is going to bring up with the total return swap. That means actual bond transfer will not happen, but only the interest part, whatever gained or lost, will be distributed to the people who are investing in the corporate bonds. So that will reduce the risk. Then tax proposals. Government is going to collect more taxes through security transaction tax. So whatever securities you trade in the stocks, government has increased the tax to 0.05% on futures, and on options premium and exercise, government has increased it to 0.1 and 0.125% respectively from 0.15% from 0.1 to 0.125 respectively from premiums and exercise. Currently it is 0.1% and 0.125%. Now government has increased it to 0.15%. So government want to generate more revenue from security transaction tax. So that is the pillar 1.2. Pillar 1.3 is related to the agriculture, farmers, right? So what government has bought for farmers? Let's see this. Bharat Vistar, the full form is Virtually Integrated System to Access All Agriculture resources. So whatever agriculture inputs are required for farmers will be get through a single integrated platform, Bharat Vistar. Right? Everything related to the agriculture, they are going to get from here. Also, government is going to encourage the sandalwood production, also fisheries production. So whatever the fisheries related support, government is going to create 500 reservoirs and Amrit Sarovars to encourage the fish cultivation and production in India. Similarly, cashew and cocoa, especially Andhra Pradesh farmers will be benefiting. So government is going to promote the production of cashew and cocoa along with the coconut production. So new schemes are going to come up with in the next few months, right? Similarly, animal husbandry, especially in the rural and peri-urban areas, government is going to support. They did not mention how much funding, but they will going to support these sectors. Similarly, dedicated program for horticulture will be launched. Horticulture is a plantation crops like fruits, vegetables. So government is going to come up with this as well. But they did not mention how much funds and all. So maybe in the next few months, cabinet will approve, right? Then tax proposals. Government has come up with the tax proposals as well. So fishermen who are catching the fishes in the exclusive economic zones, that means beyond our zones which are like, within our coastal areas. So EEZ is the one which is up to 200 nautical miles. So earlier it was treated as a export. So now it is going to be a duty free. Government is not going to collect taxes from the fishermen who is catching fishes in the exclusive economic zones. Also, cooperative sectors will be supported. How? They did not mention as such. They are going to be encouraged the cooperative sector to support the fisheries and other sectors. So that is about the pillar 1. So we have discussed about manufacturing and the tax supports in manufacturing, then service sector, then farmers. Now we will move to the pillar 2. Pillar 2 is about the strengthening the foundation of growth. Within this again we have 3 pillars, that is infrastructure, long-term energy security and urbanization. So let's see what are all the pillar 2 has. First, let's take up the 2.1. Government is going to support infrastructural investment through invites, rates, NIIF, NABFED, National Infrastructure Investment Fund, National Bank for Financing Infrastructure, Real Estate and other. So government is going to give lot of support for the infrastructure, right? Also, government is going to support the cities, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities with infrastructure whose population is more than 5 lakh, right? And government is spending capital expenditure of 12.2 lakh crores. This much amount of money government is going to spend on capital expenditure. In 2015, our capital expenditure is just 2 lakh crores. Now it is going to be 12.2 lakh crores. Revenue expenditure is not good for government because it does not give any returns. But capital expenditure, it is going to give lot of returns, right? So it is going to be 12.2 lakh crores in the financial year 2026-27. Similarly, in the infrastructure, government has brought lot of initiatives. Infrastructure Risk Guarantee Fund is going to be created to support the lenders who are investing in infrastructure. Also, real estate assets of CPSC, Central Public Sector Enterprises, whatever the real estates are there, they are going to be supported. So they are going to be commercialized and increase the GDP again. Then dedicated freight corridor. Earlier we have eastern and western dedicated freight corridors, but now government is going to establish a dedicated freight corridor where only goods are imported or exported, transferred through railway corridor. That is going to be connecting from Danakuni in West Bengal, east, to the Surat in the west. So new dedicated freight corridor is going to be created. Then 20 new national waterways are going to be worked. They are going to be connected through mineral rich areas for transport, inland transport. Already 29 inland waterways are active and 20 more are going to also be active. Okay. Ship repair ecosystem going to be encouraged. We are having lot of ships, ports, but repairs we are going to other countries. So government is also going to encourage them. Then coastal cargo promotion scheme. So coastal shipping exports, we want to contribute it to 12% by 2047. Currently it is 6%. So government is going to encourage the cargo promotion scheme as well. Also government is going to support seaplane viability gap funding. So seaplanes, you might be aware, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister has recently traveled from Vijayawada to Srisailam through seaplane. So government is going to promote their manufacturing also, that kind of manufacturing. Then special assistance scheme to states for capital infrastructure. So to encourage states to invest more in capital expenditure, government is going to create 2 lakh crore. So it is going to support states to promote their investment more in the infrastructure, right? Similarly, Purvodaya, eastern region is called as a Purvodaya region. Government is going to create a East Coast Industrial Corridor. All the business activity infrastructure going to be encouraged in this region. So that is also infrastructure related one. So that is pillar 2.1 related to infrastructure. Now pillar 2.2 related to energy security. Government is going to encourage more energy production in India. How? Carbon capture and utilization storage. What we do this through the CCUS. We are going to capture carbon from atmosphere, pump into the underground, and it will become a coal. So that is called as a carbon capture utilization storage. Government is going to spend 20,000 crore on this specifically, right? Then government has exempted basic custom duty on sodium antimonate. This they will ask you in the exam. What is sodium antimonate? Sodium antimonate is used in the manufacturing of solar glass. Okay. This BCD, basic custom duty, was eliminated for sodium antimonate. So more solar panel production can happen. Similarly, basic custom duty was exempted for all the critical minerals that are processing in India. So basic custom duties, they are removed. So again, more critical mineral production can happen. Similarly, basic custom duty was exempted for lithium ion cells. Lithium ion cells are used in battery manufacturing. So government is encouraging more energy storage in India by exempting basic custom duty for lithium ion cells. Also, basic custom duty, whatever is there, it is going to be exempted for nuclear power projects as well, so that more nuclear energy is produced in India. Whatever input material are required, we are importing it. So government is going to exempt those basic custom duty. Similarly, whatever biogas blended CNG are there, all the basic custom duties are going to be removed for the imports related to the elements that need to be used in the CNG gas. So all this is a 2.2, pillar 2.2. Then pillar 2.3 is related to urbanization. So what government is going to do this through pillar 2.3 for urbanization? This is going to amplify the potential of cities. So government want to encourage the potential of cities in terms of GDP contribution, more companies, more roads, more buildings, right? So government is going to focus on tier 2 and tier 3 cities along with the temple towns rather than focusing on metropolitan ones. So it can encourage urbanization. Also government is going to connect 7 high-speed rail corridors. 7 high-speed rail corridors between Mumbai-Pune, Pune-Hyderabad, Hyderabad-Bengaluru, Hyderabad-Chennai, Chennai-Bengaluru, Delhi-Varanasi, Varanasi-Silguri. So these are all the 7 high-speed rail. High-speed bullet trains are going to be created in these corridors. That is also part of urbanization. So this is about the pillar 2nd. We have seen about urbanization, then infrastructure, first sub-pillar, then energy security. These are the 3 sub-pillar within the pillar 2. Now moving to the pillar 3, people-centric development. So we are going to focus on people-centric development. What are the initiatives here? Let's see in the pillar 3. Strong care ecosystem we are going to create. So as I was discussing earlier, 1.5 lakh multi-skilled caregivers are going to be trained. Also self-help she marts are going to be created. She marts, self-help entrepreneurs marts. For what? Community-owned retail outlets. See, most of the disabled people, they won't be able to perform well individually, but as a together, if they come as a group, they can maintain some business. So such she marts are going to be supported to promote more disabled elderly people to encourage part of the she marts, right? They are going to create some employment. Then Divyangjan Kaushal Yojana. So we are going to create livelihood opportunities for the disabled people. So we are going to encourage some skills for the disabled people, and we want to encourage them to participate in the economy through Divyangjan Kaushal Yojana, new scheme. Then Divyang Sahara Yojana, one more new scheme. Through this, high quality assistive devices. So lot of assistive devices are required for disabled person, also for the elderly people. So government is going to create this, support this through Divyang Sahara Yojana. Similarly, already we have Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India. It's a government organization to produce the support systems for disabled people and elderly people. So government is going to support that organization as well. Also, we have PM Divyasha Kendras to sell this equipment for disabled and elderly people. So government is going to strengthen them as well. PM Divyasha Kendras. Then National Institute of Mental Health. So mental health is also going to be supported for elderly people or young people, and these institutes which are in Ranchi and Tezpur in Assam are also going to be supported by the government. Similarly, emergency and trauma care centers are going to be established in the district hospitals to support the mental health of young as well as elderly people. So these are all the initiatives under Pillar 3. Then Pillar 4, trust-based governance. These two are not very important, but still I'll just go through them. Okay. Trust-based governance. How? Government is going to support authorized economic operators, third-party economic operators by increasing their duty deferral. So if they are importing anything, they need to pay duty within 15 days, but now it is increased to 30 days. Similarly, extension of validity period for advanced ruling on customs. So whatever custom duties are there, they need to clear within 3 years. If not, then they will be pay heavy taxes or heavy fines from the government. But now it is increased to 5 years. Similarly, regular importers who are having trust, this we have discussed in the beginning itself. So whoever are longer manufacturing trusted ones, we are going to exempt them from lot of taxes. Not very important. Specifically, they did not mention anything, right? So custom duty on warehousing. So all these things were reduced. So this is the fourth pillar. And fifth pillar is on ease of doing business and ease of living. So through this, government has brought few important elements. Not all are important. Few things I am going to discuss which are more important for us. Ease of living, business and ease of living. Ease of doing business and ease of living. Whoever are individual persons residents outside of India, PRIOs, now will be permitted to invest in the portfolio investment. That means foreign Indian people who are staying there for long can now buy in our Indian stock markets. They are going to be allowed freely. Similarly, motor accident claim, whatever motor accident claim, let's say 2 lakh, 3 lakh people are getting. Now, earlier they used to charge some tax on it. That is going to be exempted. Similarly, tax TCS, that is collected at source, tax collected at source for overseas tour packages. So any, let's say, newly married couple is going for honeymoon for some Mauritius or other country. Earlier, they used to pay around 20%. That is, now they are going to reduce it to 5% and 2% on the whole amount. So earlier they used to pay 20% of tax on foreign tour packages. Now foreign tour packages are going to be cheaper because government is going to collect the less amount of money. Similarly, education and medical purposes, whatever the tax collected at source now is going to be reduced from 5% to 2%, right? And then TDS on supply of manpower services, tax deduction at source. TDS is for income, TCS is for sale. So TDS for manufacturing manpower services are going to be reduced from whatever the 5%, 6% is there, it is going to be reduced to 1% or 2%. Alright. Then we have, these are tax filing and all, this is not required for us. introduce one-time 6 months foreign asset disclosure scheme. So earlier, lot of people have lot of foreign assets and they don't say this publicly or maybe to the government, and then government will appoint committee or tax officials will be there. So a lot of disputes are included. So now if any person has come up with disclosing their foreign assets, so they are going to be charged with minimal and they are left out. So no need of any burden on them, right? So these are some other aspects. Non-production of book of accounts. So that means if some persons are not showing any profits or showing some illegally, those are earlier charged with heavy fines, but now that is also going to be removed. Minimum alternate tax. What is MAT? Minimum alternate tax is a certain amount of money government collect from the business houses. So even if they find out some loopholes and exempt from tax, government will be charging MAT tax. Okay? MAT tax will be charged. So that is going to be wiped out. So they are going to be removed or minimally charged on MAT. Okay? Capital gain tax, buyback. For example, I am having a company, I release the shares into the market. So let's say 100%, 100 rupees is per share. Now what I will do, from other sources, secondary or from my own other company, I will buy it as 1,000 rupees. So the price of share increased and then they will be getting back, right? They will be getting back money. So understand, a company is releasing a shares and then they are buying it with higher prices. So they will get lot of increased shares of the company. So their company net value will also be increased, right? So for that purpose, government is going to tax it. So the companies are not going to misuse the buyback of shares. I'm repeating again, buyback means selling our share at very low price and then buying ourselves with higher price. So now government, whatever the profit that they are getting, 100 rupees they sold, 1,000 rupees they purchased back. So 900 rupees they have inflated. So this 900 rupees will be charged with certain tax. That is called as a capital gain tax, right? And basic custom duty for 17 drugs related to cancer patients was omitted. Customs integrated system will be rolled so that easy import and exports can happen. So all these are some of the initiatives as part of the fifth pillar. Okay. So that is the fifth pillar. Now coming to the last pillar and the most important pillar is about the fiscal matters. That is related to the government numbers. Very, very important. The most important one among our budget discussion is fiscal matters. So briefly, I am revising the components of the budget. You might be aware about it. See, there are two components: expenditure, receipts. Expenditure is the amount of money that government required to do expenditure for 1 year, and revenue means the one-way payment that government receives. So receipts means including the borrowings also. So receipts and expenditure should be equalized. Expenditure, the total amount that need to be do the expenditure, and receipts means the total money that government need to receive to match the expenditure. Within that, we have revenue receipts, we have capital receipts. Revenue receipts means one-way payment received by the government which no need to pay back to anyone. That is tax as well as non-tax revenue. Capital receipts means government is receiving now but need to pay back. That is borrowings and other liabilities. Similarly, capital receipts also include non-debt capital receipts. That is by recovering of loans that were already given to states or other countries, or by selling of the government companies or assets, disinvestment. Expenditure, revenue expenditure means one-way expenditure which will not yield any returns. Capital expenditure means spending now which will return money back in the future, like buildings and all, right? These are the components. Now let's see what is the government numbers or propositions related to the physical related numbers. Now government has accepted the 16th Finance Commission recommendation of 41% devolution. So out of the total net taxes collected by the center, 41% will be given to the states. Also 1.4 lakh crores will be given as a grants for rural and urban local bodies and disaster management grants in the financial year 2027. So in the 2027 alone, government is going to give 1.4 lakh crores of grants to the states. Okay, this is the 16th Finance Commission recommendation. Now through fiscal consolidation, what is debt to GDP ratio? That is total GDP accumulated over the years with respect to GDP. It is called as a debt to GDP ratio. Currently, it is around 77%. So, government has aimed to keep this to 50 plus or minus 1% by 2030. So, by 2030, government is going to achieve this 50 plus or minus 1% of debt to GDP ratio. Okay, and this is going to be estimated to bring central government. Okay. See, 77% is of both center and state, right? Center alone, we are having currently at 55.6% of total debt to GDP ratio. This is going to be brought to 50 plus or minus 1%. Understand, 77% is both center and states total debt with respect to GDP. But this is only of center, currently at 55.6%. Government is saying that we will bring it to 50 plus or minus 1% debt to GDP ratio by 2030. Okay, and fiscal deficit means the amount of debt we are bringing in that one particular year with respect to GDP. Currently, it is at 4.4%. Now, it will be brought down to 4.3%. So, it will be down to 4.3%. This is also one of the fiscal consolidation government want to do. So, it is going to be 4.3% of fiscal deficit in 2026-27. Now, where rupee comes from? Most of our, this is receipts, okay, government receipts. Most of our money that government is receiving is from borrowings and liabilities, that is 24%. Second highest is from income tax, 21%. Third highest is from corporate tax or corporation tax, 18%. Then GST and other tax, 15%. After that, non-tax revenue like fees, fines collected by the government, 10%. Then excise duties for those goods which are not part of GST, 6%, like alcohol, petrol. Then custom duties, 4%, and then non-debt capital receipts, 2%. That is recovery of loans or selling away our assets. So this is how government receipts. This is government expenditure, total expenditure. Most of our expenditure is going to state's share of taxes, devolution recommended by Finance Commission. 20% of our total expenditure of center is going to the states. Then central sector schemes, second highest, 17%. Then second highest is interest payments, not central sector schemes. Interest payments, that means loans taken by the government, we are paying interest every year. That is 20%. 20% we are giving in this one financial year. Then central sector scheme. After that, defense related, 11%. Central sponsored scheme, 8%. Finance Commission and other transfers, 7%. Other than devolution, okay. Major subsidies like other fertilizer subsidies and all, 6%. Other expenditure, 7%. Pensions, 2%. This is our expenditure. This is our receipts. Now, out of the receipts, we have already seen the components of the budget. Our total receipts, capital receipts, are going to be 18.1 lakh crores. Units are lakh crores. You can see here. So, our total capital receipts are going to be 18.1 lakh crores and revenue receipts are going to be 35.3 lakh crores. This is for 2026-27. So, our total receipts how much? 18.1 plus 35.3, 4.3. So, 53.4 lakh crores is our total budget that we planned, right? So, total receipts are 53.4 lakh crores, out of which capital receipts are 18.1 lakh crore and revenue receipts is 35.3 lakh crores. Last year capital receipts were 16.2 lakh crores and revenue receipts is 33.4 lakh crores. Right, you can check other years also, right, whatever may be they asked in the exam, right. So, this is actuals and this is last year when they proposed, they have shown this number revised as of 10 months, right. This is the next coming year. Similarly, effective capital expenditure, revenue capital expenditure. See, receipts is equal to expenditure, but here they have mentioned effective capital expenditure. Effective capital expenditure means capital expenditure of government, central government, plus money granted, not loans, granted to states. This is generally part of revenue expenditure, but now if we add it to capital expenditure, it will become effective capital expenditure. Why? Central government expects that the money granted to the states will be spent on capital expenditure. So it may give returns for the future. So that's why it is part of the effective capital expenditure. So what is the capital expenditure? In the beginning itself we have seen 12.2 lakh crores and 17.1 minus 12.2. So around 4.9 lakh crores is given as a grant to the states. So that is part of the effective capital expenditure. Revenue capital expenditure, wasteful money, 41.3 lakh crores. So if you add 41.3 lakh crores plus 12.2 lakh crores, we'll get the 53.4, around 53.4 or 53.5, which is our total capital expenditure. We have already seen here. But here they have added this also, and that's why it is 17.1 lakh crores, effective capital expenditure. Next, trend in net receipts of the center. So from where government is receiving the more money? 28.7 lakh crores they are receiving from net taxes, tax revenue, and 6.7 lakh crores is non-tax revenue, that is fees, fines and all. And then 1.2 lakh crores they have given here to non-debt capital receipts. Okay, that means disinvestments and recovery of loans. So tax revenue, non-tax revenue, non-debt capital receipts. Then total transfers to states and union territories. Central government is transferring a lot of money to the states through devolution. It is consistently increasing, and in the financial year 2026-27, it is going to be 26.2 lakh crores. Last year it was 23.4 lakh crores. Now transfers okay, but composition. What is the composition? Most of the composition is devolution only. 15.26 lakh crores is the devolution, that is finance commission recommendation, right? Then second highest is schemes related transfer, 9.65 lakh crore, and financial commission grants, free money, not devolution, 1.29 lakh crores. You can see the previous years also, 2025-26 blue color, 13.93 lakh crore, 7.9 lakh crores of schemes, 1.53 related to the finance commission grants. So this is also related to the composition. Then major expenditure, that means most of our budget is going to transport highest, then defense, then rural development. Top three at least you need to remember. No need to remember the numbers, but remember top three sectors: transport, defense and rural development. Then highest allocation to central sponsored schemes. Central sponsored scheme means central government will give 60%, rest of the 40% has to taken care by the states. Highest was given to Manrega replacement scheme, right? So new scheme was announced, that is VBG Ram, Mahatma Gandhi Manrega replacement scheme, 95,692 crores. This number you have to remember, right? Then we have Jal Jeevan Mission. Jal Jeevan Mission is the second highest. Then Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, third. So among centrally sponsored scheme, most of the funds are going to Viksit, this scheme, VBG Ram scheme, new scheme. Then Jal Jeevan Mission and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Among central sector scheme, most of the funding is going to Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, then urea subsidy scheme. So these are central sector, that means 100% funded by the center. Then composition of the expenditure. Most of our, we have already seen this, most of our expenditure is going to central sector schemes. Okay. So among the expenditure. So you no need to worry this too much because we have already discussed central government expenditure. Then revenue and capital expenditure as a percentage of total expenditure. Our total expenditure is of the budget 53.4 lakh crores. This is our total budget. Out of that, we are giving 67.9% to what? Revenue expenditure. Only 9.2% to the sorry, not 9.2, capital expenditure is 22.8 is the capital expenditure. This is a percentage of total expenditure. Revenue expenditure itself is taking 67.9%, capital expenditure is 22.9%, and grants, so this is the effective capital expenditure. Grants means given to the states. This is 9.2%, right? This and this is a central government expenditure for themselves. This is for the states. So this is also trend in capital expenditure. So total blue color one, you can see capital expenditure is 12.2 lakh crores. In the beginning itself we have discussed, and then 4.9 is the grants to states. It's actually revenue expenditure, but it will part of capital expenditure. So together 17.1 lakh crores. We have already seen this. 17.1 lakh crores. Effective revenue, effective capital expenditure. Okay. So we have got again here. Then capital expenditure as a percentage of GDP. Not overall expenditure, as a percentage of GDP. Our capital expenditure is going to be 3.1%, and money granted to the state, that is 4.9 lakh crore. It is 1.3%. So together effective capital expenditure is going to be 4.4% of GDP in the next coming year. This year 3.9%, still 2 more months are there. Previous year 4% of GDP. So this is a capital expenditure of the government as a percentage of GDP. And already we have discussed this. Most of our expenditure highest is going to transport. Then we have defense. But if you take interest payments itself 14 lakh crores. This is much more than that. Interest payment means what are the loans taken by central government. We are paying interest to that every year. So this year alone we are paying 14 lakh crores. Then trend in net recipient of the center. So how much center is receiving? Highest will be tax, obviously. 28.7 lakh crores is of tax. 6.7 lakh crores is of non-tax revenue. Tax revenue is 28.7 lakh crores, non-tax revenue is 6.7 lakh crores, remaining is non-debt capital receipts, so around 1.2 lakh crores. So lastly, deficit statistics. Deficit means the excess amount of money that government want to take. You have to revise the static part, then only you will be able to understand it. Fiscal deficit means amount of money that extra we need to borrow in this budget year. So we are borrowing 16.9 lakh crores as a physical deficit in this particular financial year. Revenue deficit means, this is a physical deficit. Revenue deficit means revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. This is going to be 5.9 lakh crores. Okay. Effective revenue deficit, that means effective revenue deficit means revenue deficit minus money granted to the states. This is actually part of revenue expenditure, right? So that is 4.9 we have already seen. 5.9 minus 4.9 approximately 1 lakh crore. That is 99,000 crores is the effective revenue deficit. Primary deficit means fiscal deficit minus interest payments. Interest payments how much? 14 lakh crore. 16.9 minus 14, that is 2.9 lakh crores. So matched. These are the deficit in terms of total money. But in terms of percentage of GDP, we need to express in terms of percentage of GDP also, right? This is a 2026-27 year. Our fiscal deficit is going to be 4.3%. Last year it is 4.4. And revenue deficit is going to be 1.5% of GDP, and primary deficit is going to be 0.7% of GDP, and effective revenue deficit is going to be 0.3% of GDP. Okay, same thing they have given here in the numbers. Same thing in terms of graphs they have given. Fiscal deficit 4.3% of GDP, revenue deficit 0.5% of GDP. Then green color one is primary deficit 0.7% of GDP, and effective revenue deficit is 0.3% of GDP. So lastly, the overall debt of the central government, 55.6% of GDP we have already discussed according to FRBM Act, but according to budget document it is 54.7%. Okay, so that is about the overall debt of the government, right? So this is the same thing, revenue receipts, capital receipts we have already seen in the graph format, and I have discussed the total expenditure. Same thing they have repeated in the table format as well. This also we have discussed in the beginning. Most of our money we are getting from borrowings and liabilities 24%, second income tax 21%, then corporate tax 18%, right? We have already discussed previously, same thing they have given in the pie chart. Similarly, expenditure also we have seen, most of our expenditure is going to state deduction of taxes 22% in the beginning itself we have seen, then interest payments, right, followed by central sector scheme, same thing they have given in the pie chart. So that is about the complete budget analysis. So we have discussed extensively, focus on pillar 1, 2 and then 6. 6 is more important. So already we have discussed all the definitions and the data. In case of any doubt, you can just comment in the comment section, or you can reach out to the in the app itself, right, if you are a student of ACE. So this is about the complete budget analysis. So prepare well, patiently, and make your own notes. That is it. Thank you.